G'day from Sydney Harbour and welcome to Hotels by Design. In this series, we're going to show you some of the best designer destinations in both Australia and New Zealand, from big cities to remote islands. This is a design travel show like no other.
After an exhaustive search, our team of ByDesign industry experts have found the finest designer hotels and resorts Australia and New Zealand has to offer.
They're absolutely amazing. We've got rural projects, regional projects, and we've got amazing hotels in the city.
I'm in just absolute awe of all these projects and all the different ideas, and my mind is completely blown.
I think we've sort of filled a spot for everyone looking for that special getaway.
Australia and New Zealand have reopened the borders and travellers are heading here from all over the world. Now our ByDesign team have done the research for you to help plan your next vacation destination. In this series, you'll see the most immersive, most unique, most impressive designer hotel experiences. And we're going to start right here in Sydney at an amazing hotel right here down under.
Pier 1 here in Sydney is all about one thing: location, location, location. So Brenton, this project is all about the view, and as an interior designer, I'm sure that would have caused you some challenges.
So Reno, the view was certainly one part of the project. What we wanted to really try and do with this is make sure that when people came to this hotel, they really experienced the authenticity of the building and the architecture, and that really fed the interiors. But notwithstanding that, the view is incredibly important and one of the magnificent parts of this location. That's also why people come back.
I'm seeing a lot of timber here, very reminiscent of a wharf.
That was really to contrast the highly polished marble floor, which also really accentuates the verticality of this double height space, which is also important.
And then the void that we come into here.
And you can see symmetrically we've located the bar in this space. When people, they come into reception, they've checked in, the first thing they want to do is grab a drink. They grab a drink and they move seamlessly from the bar out onto the beautiful harbour view. So in terms of the way we planned it, it's been very deliberate, but to move people through and let them experience the space slowly. So there's a bit of theatre and a bit of play on how we program these spaces when we design hotels.
So Kim, you're going to show me which room?
Okay, Reno, this is the Admiral Suite. So if you're coming into Sydney, this is the suite that you want to be staying in.
Well, with a name like Admiral, it must be very special, right?
It is a really special room, and the way we designed it is to make sure that there was a bit of a reveal. So you kind of walk into the room and there's beautiful artwork here.
And just this wall? I mean, I was hoping to see somewhat of a view.
Patience. Why don't you walk down here to the right?
Ah, okay. Okay, now this is jaw-dropping.
It's pretty stunning. This view is 24/7 amazing, and the furnishings are simple and luxurious, and I think this piece here is quite stunning.
I'd love it.
With the leather, the beautiful spotted gum, and of course we had to fill the minibar with something amazing and special, which is true to our brand, and our brand is all about Live Sydney. Everything is locally sourced. This is our beautiful Admiral Suite bedroom.
I can see that the design cues have been followed from the living area as well, with the brass railing and the detail. You know, I look at this and I just see elegant simplicity.
Well, when you have this, you don't need much
Exactly.
more.
Yeah, you can afford to pare things back, can't you?
Now, I think I'm going to really surprise you in the bathroom. Mm-hmm. So let's go through and have a look through here.
Yes, this is a lovely surprise.
Yeah.
My gosh, and this view, Kim, it keeps on giving, doesn't it?
It really
just
does.
Never stops.
It really does.
Now, who do we have here?
This is Bea. This is my dog, and she's also, her position here is Director of Pet Experiences. So it could be the dog beds that we have in the room, it could be the doggy minibar that we put in the room, it could be the beautiful menu that Tom puts together.
The menu?
Yeah, there's a doggy degustation menu that B consults with Tom to make sure it tastes just perfect.
Okay, so I'm just working out that this hotel is also pet friendly, especially for dogs, right?
Yes, we have a number of rooms down on the ground floor that she wants to go and see Tom, I think. There's a number of rooms down on the ground floor that are actually pet friendly. So they're designed with dog menus, dog beds, and then you can bring your dog into the gantry restaurant, which is our hatted restaurant. And in actuality, I think we're the only Sydney property that runs their own hatted restaurant. There's hatted restaurants in hotels, but they're usually outsourced. So we're very proud of Tom and his team.
This hotel is blessed with a location that is hard to match, but there's a strong design story here that embraces its past, and with its simple elegance, it will transcend many design fads that too often come and go. I think Brenton's work here will be delighting guests for many years to come.
Scan the QR code or go to hotelsbydesign.com to learn more about Pier 1 Sydney Harbour special offers.
BEDARRA Island Resort, just off the coast of Queensland, absolutely stunning. Sustainability on that island, 10 out of 10. I mean, I've never seen so many batteries just being totally sustainable and being able to provide high level of service and luxury without using fuel.
We're heading off the North Queensland coast. A lot of people have heard of Dunk Island. It's part of a family. Dunk Island's the father island. There's also the twin and the triplets. I'm so excited we're actually about to land at BEDARRA, which is the mother island.
Welcome to BEDARRA.
Thank you very much.
A welcome Pims from Olivia.
Carrie Ann, you and Sam own this place.
We do. We're very lucky to call BEDARRA ours.
How did you find this place?
Actually, it's a funny story. When Sam was younger, he and his younger brother Nick were homeschooled on the island, and he fell in love with it. So when I first met Sam, he used to talk about it, and he'd say, "We're going to own that island one day." And I used to think, "Oh, he's a funny thing, isn't he, saying things like that?" And sure enough, after Cyclone Yasi, we came to look at it, standing around watching, thinking, goodness, this isn't going to work because it was so decimated. And when I turned around and he was behind me with a grin from ear to ear, and he said, "Darl, this is going to be fantastic."
So dreams do come true?
They absolutely do.
Are you going to make my dreams come true? Is this my room?
It's actually not. I did want to show you this room because it's a bit different from yours. It faces south. It's my favourite room to wake up in. It's like you're in amongst the natural beauty of the island.
So Carrie Ann, I guess this is not my room either.
No, not quite, although it is Sam's favourite room. So this is our battery room, something we're really proud of because we are 100% solar now. You know, it took a 44-gallon drum of diesel per guest per day to keep the resort running before we bought it. So it was important for us to lower our carbon footprint.
Yeah, do you think it's important to the guests?
Oh, look, absolutely, Richard, it is. Sam's quite often in here doing tours of the battery room, gets really interested in it.
So Carrie Ann, what do people do here?
Look, you can do as much or as little as you like. We've got beautiful little guest dinghies that a lot of our guests take out to the surrounding islands with a gourmet picnic and champagne. You've got all of this to play with. You can do stand-up paddleboarding, tennis, or you can just simply relax in your own villa and enjoy your time here.
I think I'll do all of those.
It sounds like a good idea. So Richard, this is your villa.
Oh my goodness.
Isn't it wonderful?
I'm speechless.
This one we call The Point. It's on the front beach with this incredible view, but it is very special.
I love the materials that you've actually used, all the timber and the natural materials that support the environment.
Yeah, of course. And look, obviously we don't want to compete against what we've got here. So we were very careful to keep it nice and subtle. When guests are here, they spend most of their time outdoors, so it was important for us to get that right. So obviously there is an inside to the villas as well.
It's beautiful. The elevated bedroom.
Yeah, look, it's incredible. Just having that slight elevation of the bedroom, you wake up looking out to that, and yeah, it's a wonderful way to start your day.
Just curious, does anybody ever watch the TV?
I think it would be highly unlikely that that's ever been turned on. I mean, why would you when you can wake up to this?
So Lance, how long have you been on the island?
I've been about 5.5 years now, Richard, yes.
We're only here for 2 days and you get to live here.
Look, my backyard. What could be better?
What sort of guests stay here?
We've got a wide demographic of guests, roughly about an 80-20 ratio, of 80% being of the local market. And Richard, then there's guests that I can't tell you about.
We won't tell anyone.
Well, I'm not going to tell you. Enjoy your night, Lisa, Richard.
Thanks, Lance.
Terrific.
Lisa and I have this special thing. Every year we go to Noosa for our wedding anniversary. This year I thought I'd go all out and bring her here. This is what we work hard for, and this is the reward. The biggest question is, what am I going to do next year? There's an obvious destination story here, but the design story is not so much about the architecture, it's about the service. Everything is anticipated and thought through. BEDARRA is the best service design that I've ever experienced. We've ever experienced?
Kickstart your Queensland adventures with Swain Destinations. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to hotelsbydesign.com to see what's possible.
So FALCON BRAE Lodge and Villa, it's absolutely amazing. There's all the luxury of a hotel in the middle of nowhere. So tranquility, ambience, you got it there.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to FALCON BRAE. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Simon. Great to be here. Thank you for having me.
I'd like to introduce you to the team. We've got Michael.
Hi, Michael. How are you doing?
And Jess.
Hi, Jess. How are you?
Thank you.
Now, can I tempt you to a wee glass of bubbles? When we took over the property, it was in a bit of a state of disrepair. And so we've planted 50,000 manuka across the property, as well as 25,000 other natives.
So were all these tracks here, Jeremy, or did you put these in? Or?
No, we put in 18 kilometres of walking tracks across the property.
Yeah.
We've done all this work to put in the trees, and we want to show it off.
This is full service. Tell us about what you mean by that.
Yeah, so it's our version of butler service.
You don't look very much like a butler, though.
I do not look much like a butler, no. But no, we want the guests to have everything and that they need while they're staying with us, but we don't want to be intrusive or too formal. We want the guests to be relaxed as soon as they walk in the door.
It's a pretty special experience wandering around a property like this and seeing all the amazing effort that's gone into replanting it. But there's another side to that, and that's that there's hives on the property, which means that guests get to taste the land.
I try to source as much stuff as possible locally. A good general rule of thumb in the Nelson region is 200 kilometres. If you can get it within that, that's perfect scenario. It's very inspirational having all these products on your doorstep.
So tell us a bit about how you came to this valley, because it's a pretty special spot.
It just had everything for us. Sunshine was one thing for New Zealand, but it had the 4 seasons. Where we lived in the tropics, it was just 2 seasons. Wet and wetter.
This area is right in the middle of 3 national parks. So we've got the Abel Tasman National Park on the coast, and then we've got the Kararangi National Park. We've also got the Nelson Lakes National Park. So we're right in the middle of all 3. So for tourists coming here, it's an ideal situation.
We spent 5 years looking around New Zealand. At the same time, unbeknownst to us, Don and Stacey from California decided that they wanted to move to New Zealand and have a holiday home, and said, would you be interested in building a holiday home for us on your property? And their partnership evolved from there, and so 3 years after that point, we now have FALCON BRAE. It's not a lodge or a hotel, we call it a villa. And when you rent this out as exclusive use, you're really renting a home. Our point of difference is it's a home, but we've got the service behind it as well, your private chef and wait staff as well.
So John, tell us a bit about the bar, because this is obviously a really big, important part of the room.
Just as the kitchen is the hub of the dining area, this is the hub of the entertainment area.
You've got dark oak, you've got, you know, stone, you've got brass. It's really warm and kind of tactile, and it'll age beautifully as well.
And also the canopy on the top sort of makes it nice and cosy as well in this big large room.
Tell us about this fireplace. I mean, this rock is just extraordinary.
Yes, we're very proud of the fireplace. The stone was locally sourced, as with all the rock walls and the landscaping as well.
We're lucky enough to have 4 pieces on the property, and this is another piece here. Smoothly finished, highly polished with a lot of local stone, Rewalker River stone. It frames the view. It's a nice piece for framing the mountains.
The main role of the building design was to capture the view as much as we could, so the view is everything, I think.
So I've just spent a night at FALCON BRAE Villa. I think what I've loved most about it is that it is a home. It's not a hotel, and that's really what gives it such a lovely feeling. I really can't wait to come back.
Book a 3-night stay in a luxury villa and receive a 4th night free. This exclusive package includes daily breakfast, gourmet dinner, and so much more. Simply scan the QR code or go to hotelsbydesign.com for details. Stay with us for more of Australia and New Zealand's best hotels and resorts.
Welcome back to Australia and New Zealand's Hotels by Design, where we continue the search for your next vacation destination. Now, I'm just enjoying a quick bite here at the Gantry Restaurant Pier 1 in Sydney, but I need to ask you a question. Do you need to escape? Do you really need to get away? Because if the answer is yes, I'm about to take you to one of the most remotest islands on Earth. It's off the Queensland coast in Australia's Whitsunday Islands. There's always a level of excitement when you arrive somewhere new, and I think when you travel across water, it just adds to the anticipation. Now, this designer resort is known as ELYSIAN, and it's described as the most remote in the Great Barrier Reef, which just adds to the intrigue, the mystery, and the romance. I think we've all dreamt of being shipwrecked on a desert island, but this has got a twist. This is being lost in luxury. Now, Charlton, your family picked up the lease after the cyclone. That must have been a frightening sort of sight.
When we arrived, pretty much everything was damaged in a bad way. So yeah, it was hard work, but it definitely pays off. Sustainability is a big ethos in our business. We wanted to be the first 100% solar-powered resort on the Great Barrier Reef. We've got a 45 kilowatt system, and that basically drives our kitchen, all the accommodation. Another sustainability idea that we had was the thatching on the roof. That reduced the inside temperature of the villas by 10 degrees Celsius. We really want to focus now on rejuvenation projects, so we really want to get the native plants and bird life into the area. For instance, those 2 pied oyster catchers on the beach, they've been living here for a year and a half. I saw them having their chicks last year. We also want to place a lot of focus on growing our own vegetables from our garden and bring that into our kitchen. So it's basically a zero footprint living with some luxury and just to connect with nature. So Pete, we've got 10 villas. It's all twin share, so the maximum of 20 guests on the island.
I feel even more special. Charlton, tell me about some of these beautiful, simple interior design elements.
So we chose to partner with a company called Unico Collections. They designed all the furniture for us. They use natural fibres in their designs of furniture.
The true test of a room is how comfortable are the beds. Ugh.
So the bed is called the microcloud, and the whole idea behind that is you basically feel as if you are sleeping on a cloud.
Cloud 9, mate, that's what it is. But from this angle, you'll also get this beautiful view of the roof, which is like being under an old picnic shelter.
Yeah, it's the cathedral type of roof, and it's all hardwood timber.
Which leads us to the bathroom, and one of the other important aspects is how good is the water pressure.
It's all rainwater that we catch on the island. We've also got a biocycle system, which is a 3-tank system that works with bacteria, and that basically breaks down our waste. We convert it into grey water, and that's something that we use to water our gardens and plants on the island.
The gathering space here at Elysian is this central pavilion in the shape of a hexagon, which you think about is the perfect communal form. And this one is lined with some books just to give it that homely touch. Of course, the focus of the room though is Captain Cook's telescope. Only joking. Could you do it? Do you really think you could let yourself go in a place like this? Because, I mean, when you think about it, our normal lives, it's the answering to the ticking of a clock or a bus timetable. But in a place like this, it's Mother Nature that orchestrates the rhythm. It's the changing of the tide, it's the angle of the sun. And I think simple architecture helps us tune into these things a lot quicker. But ultimately, good design and architecture can only suggest that we should be detoxing and de-digitising. It's really up to us to make it happen.
Kickstart your Queensland adventures with Swain Destinations. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to hotelsbydesign.com to see what's possible.
Jackalope, a winery by Car Design. The interiors of this project are extremely opulent. Look, unashamedly, I'm one of Car Design's biggest fans.
What you're about to see is the first of its kind in the world. It's a compelling blend of deep Australian history and courageous contemporary design. And there's a reason why Time magazine put this hotel on the list of the top 100 places to visit in the world. Well, I have to say, Stephen, you've created an incredible backdrop for this heritage building. I mean, what's that, 120 years old?
Yep, thereabouts.
And you've got this super contemporary, bold black architecture wrapped around it. It's extraordinary. I mean, this is the first of its kind in Australia, right?
Yep, very much. This is the first of its kind for Jackalope as a brand. Yep. So from the early outset, it was quite a challenge in that there was no star rating or design guidelines, like much larger hotels. However, we found this as a really amazing challenge, working both as the conductor for the architecture and interiors, but in collaboration with many artists and many amazing consultants.
And this being one of them, right? I mean, the Jackalope.
Yes, the 7-metre high sculpture by Emily Floyd. It's all about theatre, it's all about art. It's really about redefining what a country retreat should be. So thinking outside the box, moving away from that conventional rural stay of rustic timbers and rustic architecture.
Yeah.
And really creating something unique.
We often refer to this as the alchemist's workshop.
Yeah.
The bar is called Flagadoot. So this is the arrival experience into the hotel. So this is the main dining restaurant called Doot Doot Doot. The mating call of the jackalope.
Of course it is. That is an incredible installation.
There's about 10,000 LED amber globes, and they're all individually hung. The temperature of the lighting is really important.
Yeah.
So the ceiling sculpture, for example, has a range of different modes, so that there might be one that dances and shifts, so you get that undulation, and other times it has a 10-minute cycle of up and down, so when you're dining you don't feel ill.
Yeah, I mean, you would depower the state of Victoria to run this thing if you had to put all of them on, right?
I think we'd be in a bit of trouble. Yeah. There is the danger of too many statements in one environment, and when you're looking at this type of ceiling, everything on the lower plane intentionally is quite dark and demure, but we still need it to be interesting. So all of the furniture and the floor finishes are intentionally dark, but highly textured.
You're not just throwing cushions around, are you? You guys have actually found a way of delivering neon with sophistication.
So they're actually symbols of alchemy and also astrological symbols.
So where are we going now?
I'm taking you into the lair, so this is the top level suite.
Okay, lead me into your lair. So you've really been able to add a lot of drama to this room with all that height. This has got to be Christopher Boots.
Yes, you're spot on there. And being a Melbourne design is really important.
And why a full kitchen?
Well, this is something that's really important if you're going to a destination, to be able to have that opportunity to have the chef come up, cook for you, or to suit different eventing needs.
Yeah. Okay, this is gorgeous. I love the tub. And something's just occurred to me. It doesn't matter whether you're in the tub or working at the desk or just waking up in bed, you're always looking at that incredible view.
Yeah, that was intentional in how we designed all of the rooms, that they were all geared towards that experience of looking out.
Now, don't take this the wrong way, but I think you found a way of making beige very sexy.
Okay. Well, it was important to give that sense of relief from the public environments, which are full of theatre and playfulness.
Yes.
The guest room needs to be a place where one can relax.
Yeah, and it does feel harmonious, I gotta say. You just feel at ease here, don't you?
Yeah, it's that break and respite.
This is a subtle yet contemporary piece of design that sits beautifully in the landscape and in the story of Australian architecture. And I think the architects have done an incredible job at creating an understated vessel that houses one of the best curated collections of Australian art and design that I have ever seen.
Stay 3 nights and you'll get a 4th night free. Just scan the QR code or go to hotelsbydesign.com to start booking.
There's a certain rhythm and energy to a big metropolis. I'm in downtown Sydney, where there's a wonderful mix of period and classical architecture. But I'm heading to a hotel designed to slow you down while you're taking all the natural wonder as well as the buzz and energy of Australia's biggest city.
Pete, we are right in the heart of this magnificent city. We're a stone's throw from Circular Quay, the Opera House, and the world's most magnificent harbour.
Spoken like a real Sydney-sider, which I am too. We love this city. And you're right next door to one of the classic modernist buildings in Australia.
Absolutely. The architecture in this city and Australia Square are absolutely phenomenal. But I am so proud of what we've been able to achieve here right next door.
And I believe it's all about the entry sequence.
Yes, and it starts with one small step. Traditionally, when you're staying at a high-end hotel in the city, it's all about a bustling lobby with a large grand entry. Well, we've flipped that.
Right.
This is about subtlety, this is about privacy, this is all about the design and the way the architecture starts to take you away from the hustle and the bustle of the city into your own private space.
Well, you're right. We've literally just slipped in off Hunter Street and we're descending on entry.
Well, that's right. This is the sensory cleanse. This is where the hustle and bustle and the sights and sounds of the city start to slip away to the sounds of the fountain, the music, and the entrance into the calming foyer.
And using water to mask city sound, it's not a new idea. Sidler used it next door in Australia Square, and it's been used in Europe for years, the Civic Fountain.
Well, that's right, Peter. I mean, why reinvent something that's been perfected over centuries?
Well, Auntie, we've descended below street level into an inherently dark space, which is calming.
Well, that's deliberate. This is all about setting you up for the real arrival. So here we are, Pete, at Sydney's first Sky Lobby.
Oh, this is one of those moments where you just need to catch your breath.
That's right, Pete. I mean,
what a superhero entry. We are literally in amongst the skyscrapers looking out on the Emerald City.
Well, that's the wonderful thing here. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're in Sydney, one of the great cities of the world. Let me introduce you to Matt from JPW, the firm that really came up with the concept that brought this property to us.
Matt, you two have had some fun here. What was the concept?
This was a very inspiring project for us. A great site on Sydney's George Street, a visionary brief for a landmark flagship hotel, and a hotel that was not only designed for its guests, but also as a new place for Sydney.
Now, Matt, I've heard of the yellow brick road, but this is the golden ascending stair.
Yeah, so in this 360-degree space, we felt we needed some elements to help with wayfinding and orientation. So the desk, the stair, and the crown, all crafted in warm metal finishes, set against the bluestone core.
What Matt is being very humble about, and I applaud this decision, is basically saying Australia Square, an architectural icon with its public space, is paramount, and your building helps form part of the backdrop of that space, reinforcing it.
You're absolutely right. The city and its public spaces are such a priority.
Can you summarise the theme behind the interior design?
First and foremost, we wanted the guests and visitors to feel that they are immersed in the city roofscape. Then we wanted something calm, serene, timeless as a backdrop to that experience. Climate change, carbon reduction, and comfort were always part of the conversation. How could we do this without increasing the energy use? So we specified and developed an innovative glass product. The glass has a metallic mesh laminated into the glass, which shades over 50% of the glass surface, greatly reducing the energy required to air condition the space.
I could spend a lot of time sitting here, man. This is such a special spot.
Hi Pete!
Hi, what do you got?
Well, we encourage everyone after a long day to have our daily pause.
Right, a platter, a drink. I could get used to this.
Yeah, it's great. It's between 5 to 8 p.m.
All right, I'm sold.
As night falls, the lights of the city come alive and the space takes on a whole new character. It's been embraced by Sydneysiders. The best tables here are booked out weeks in advance. Our client, Toga, interior designers, engineers, consultants, contractors, craftspeople, literally hundreds of people work together to create a building like this.
What do you got for us, Don?
How about some boogie woogie blues sounds on the piano?
You gotta love this city. And here at the BRAE, the sky is literally the limit, but it's grounded in some solid architectural and design principles. It's the perfect place to enjoy the Emerald City of Sydney.
To get your special offer, simply scan the QR code on the screen or go to hotelsbydesign.com. To learn more about booking any of the hotels or resorts featured in this series, go to hotelsbydesign.com.